Welcome, faithful viewers, to Breaking Diaspora Barriers. We shorten it like BDB. This is a podcast which is meant to inspire and encourage many people who have moved into the United Kingdom from our beautiful country, Zimbabwe. A podcast that is meant to listen to voices, people who have managed to climb up the ladder by working tirelessly in order to ensure that they look after themselves and others as well. So today we will be talking to Lisa, who is the managing coordinator for Pennine Social Care, a company that is also being directed by Violet Gutu, whom we interviewed earlier on. We are anchoring everything that we'll be talking today on Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, which reads, I have plans for you, plans to prosper and not to harm you. I have plans for your future. And so it is within that context that we are listening to this quiet, humble voice today. Lisa, the coordinator and manager of Pennine Social Care. Welcome, Lisa, to BDB.
Thank you very much. Hello, viewers. Thank you for having me on BDB to share in my own little, very loud voice my experiences of my journey of moving into the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Lisa, Violet has alluded to the fact that you are a very good coordinator, and we'll be talking more about that later. Mm-hmm. But firstly, we just wanted to go back to your roots in Zimbabwe, how you grew up, the school you went to, and the challenges that you met, and also if this was part of your dream that one day you'll be in the United Kingdom. Or it is something that just came from nowhere. So your humble beginning and your early childhood in Zimbabwe. Can you just take us through that journey?
Right. Growing up in Zimbabwe, I was very much athletic. So being a part of this country and in the profession that I've ended up being in was never something that I could have foreseen myself. So I can only just believe that everyone has a purpose and it could only be God, because I had never dreamt that I would be moving to UK. But if you had mentioned athletics, because that was my upbringing, that was my background, I was very much passionate in that area. Yes.
So in other words, you could be in Japan right now.
I could have been in the Olympics
athletics
for our country, yes.
Exactly, which is great, and
yes.
that would have been wonderful. But however, God had other ideas for you. Yes. And did you have any difficulties as you grew up in terms of, maybe failing to go to school because you did not have adequate clothes, or maybe your tuition fees, etc.? What was your life like?
100%. I would say there was a point where, with the struggles of life, my parents would struggle, sometimes paying school fees, and I ended up being one of those kids that would be called out, as we used to do in Zimbabwe. Those who've not paid their school fees, I found my name, being called out and having to leave school. And because of those financial strains, we ended up moving quite a lot, living in so many different places. So you will find out that I have gaps in my memories because of all that moving. And I can only remember so many people because of that moving. I went to so many different schools because of that struggle, yes.
And that is coming up a bit clearer now. When you look back, you can see what I call missed opportunities, because you could not be in a position to actually get adequate education at the right time.
Yes.
But however, our God is always good. Those missed opportunities can always come back again as opportunities in your life. So as you grew up, obviously you realized that there was need for you to make a move. what are the sort of struggles that came your way? Because it wasn't easy to come to the United Kingdom. That I can tell you.
Yes.
The money for airfare, etc. And I know many people left without saying goodbye to anybody. I don't know that is fear of witchcraft. I don't know. How did you make it?
Going into that, my journey was a bit different, I believe, because at that time, I'm divorced at the moment, but at that time I was still married. So due to, I would compare it with this COS, because my ex-husband then was working for Barclays and he was offered an opportunity to move to this country. That's how I moved to this country. So it was an opportunity that just arose and ended up having our family migrate to this country. But the difficulties that I would mention that I faced was we moved to a foreign country where we didn't know anybody. And trying to raise 2 kids and working at the same time without any help was the biggest challenge that I would say I never would have foreseen it.
You were coming from Zimbabwe,
having help,
where you had added help, having a maid, probably someone we used to call our garden boy, someone who could look after the lawn and the garden, etc. Your maid was responsible for your children.
You could go to work,
and then you hear UK. In your mind, you think this is a land of milk and honey.
Yes.
And then when you arrived here, you realized you were alone.
Shock. It was a shock to the
maid,
system. Nothing.
No partner. And the social services are waiting like an eagle to snatch your child if you sort of fail to protect them. That must have been a real challenge. How did you overcome that?
Oh, it was a shock to the system. It was a struggle, I don't want to lie. I remember one day, I think that was most probably the worst for me, because I then realized that I could not go to work because I needed to look after the children, and my husband then, since he was the one who was on this COS, needed to go to work, so I needed to support him. So I couldn't work, and there was an expectation back home from my family kuti tofanira kuchengeta vabereki nemasiblings zvese, saka zvinhu zvakaoma kuti nditomboenda kuinterview yachoni, who was I going to leave the children with? So that was my biggest challenge. And I remember one day I rang my mom and I broke down completely. I cried. Because I feel for them, they would have felt like, and milk and honey, and she's not doing anything. She's not sending us enough money. And yet I'm here and I can't even do anything. I can't work. So I rang her and I called and I said, I wanted to go to this interview. And I'd asked a fellow Zimbabwean at that time to see if she could help me with childcare for just maybe an hour or two, and she couldn't. That killed me. But then I think it killed me, but it also then brought in those core values, my resilience, that I was brought up with that. That, you know what, this cannot end you. You just have to pick yourself up and find a solution. That's how I overcame that bit. In the end, I ended up having to find solutions of how can I manage my kids by myself, because I'm by myself.
That's what we call resilience and courage, being inspired by the Holy Spirit. God is always walking and leading you, is always ahead of you and also behind you. So you are never alone in that respect. And when you hear people in this country saying, are you now settled? I don't know whether I am the only one who was being asked that question. Are you now settled? Sometimes you don't understand what they're talking about, but later you realize that, okay, when you are still juggling with children, work, etc., no social life as well. So how did you cope? And particularly, how did the children feel during that time?
Now, in hindsight, I actually feel like if I felt like that as an adult, that I was here alone, I can only just imagine how these kids, they've just been brought to this country and they had to go to schools with all these people. And mind you, at that age, my kids were very young at that age. They were 4 and 2. They couldn't speak a word of English. So they had to learn in school. These were Zimbabwean kids speaking Shona, going to school. You can't even communicate, you can't say. So I can only just now, as a grown-up, now as an adult, I can only feel like they struggled. And it's just refreshing to see how they've come out of that and, progressing.
So in other words, breaking diaspora barriers is not just about you.
No.
It's the entire family.
The entire family.
Children fighting their own war, their own struggle.
It impacted,
until they can now speak a language that you probably have to guess what they're talking about. When they say, Mom, can you hear me?
Yes.
Say, is this the same child
when I end up being the only person with an accent. So yes.
Or they even correct you, Mom, you don't say that.
Yes.
You don't say sheep. No, that's not a yacht. A sheep is a yacht, like a yacht. If you're talking about that animal, it's a sheep. You hear that, Mom? So this is what we now hear from them. But it's great. They have managed to break the barriers. They can now speak a language and they have the accent of this country, and it helps them to be able to navigate their way.
Yes,
Tell me about their success, because when you talk about breaking the barriers, it's not just about our professionalism. It's also about the children themselves. Have they done well through your guidance and your resilience? Have they done well in this country?
Well, the main thing is I want to believe they have.
Yeah.
The core values that I was brought up with, really instilled in them as well.
Yeah, the core values
in school. No, not mainly just school as well. It's the resilience. If you start something, you finish it. We were not taught to give up. It was never a word in our culture. You do not give up. Once you start something, kunyangwe kurunzi maenda kumunda hamutangi kamongosira panzira munda uchatori moyo because chibage chichashika. So this is what I've tried to instill in my kids as well. No, whether you succeed or you fail in it, but the important thing is when you start something, you finish, see it through to the end.
Okay. I've asked you this question because I know there are people who have moved in this country, they're here for maybe 2 years, 3 years, etc. They have this challenge, they're very fresh, and they may be contemplating going back home because they are thinking we can't stay in this country. But I'm interviewing you today so that at least they're able to understand that we all went through all these difficult patches. But here you are today, you've already forgotten about all these problems. But I hope someone is hearing you today and they may even, realize that where God takes you is with you. You are never alone. And time is the greatest healer. You will forget about all these things in the future.
That's true.
Now, we move a step. We are now talking about your personal growth. Yes, you've settled. You now know the ins and outs in terms of what you're supposed to do. It's more now to do with your personal growth because once you settle in this country, you need to have a direction.
Yes.
And it's not easy, but for others it was just the way of life, the discipline, the resilience you're talking about. So what then came into your mind in order to progress within this country professionally?
I would say the basis would be self-awareness. Yeah. Right? So if you work on understanding what exactly you want, what your purpose is, where exactly do you want to go, I think that definitely is something that would help you in growing in whatever that you're doing. It don't matter where you start off, as long as you continue and work hard in that area or even change areas until you find that little bit that you feel like, you know what, because we never stop growing. That's what I'm finding out now, growing older, that we never stop growing.
Okay. Before I move to your current job right now, I just want to know if there are other jobs that you did before.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, can you just take me through that? I
think going back, what didn't I do? Maybe should be the question. What did you not do?
Exactly.
I did everything. I started, well, in this country anyway, in Tesco. I worked in warehouses. I worked as a care assistant. And all of those things helped shape me into becoming the person I am today. They all played a role.
It's important again because
cleaning.
Exactly. I sincerely understand many Zimbabweans who moved into this country. They were highly educated.
Yes.
And I know of my friends who found it very difficult to actually do care work because they thought that was maybe a woman's job. And yet in doing all these jobs here, you get a lot of knowledge from them. And you can use, knowledge doesn't just disappear. You use it wherever you go in the future. So after doing all these jobs, like you said, you did everything,
yes,
which was great. And then I've just been informed when we were interviewing Violet that you are now a shareholder of Pennine Social Care.
Yes.
And you are a manager, the coordinator of Pennine Social Care. How did you get to that level?
Do you know, without having worked in all these different industries, in all these different sectors, I don't think it's something that I would have easily achieved. But working hard, and also the people that are around you who help push you and motivate you into it all ties in and helps you with growth and getting to where you want to go. I think your friends will play a role in this as well, including yourself.
Exactly. You are managing human beings, people with families,
yes,
and some of them who have just come into this country, maybe they've been here for a year or two. Sometimes it's cheese and chalk, isn't it? Where people don't understand that this is a woman who is now driving us and coordinating us. Men may find it difficult, particularly men from my country, let alone you just being a woman. How do you do that?
It has challenges, I would say. It may be difficult sometimes, but I think we get to having worked in that industry, I can exercise some empathy, some compassion. I understand why they're doing that or why this is happening. So this is why I'm saying working in that sector has also helped shape me into becoming the person who I am today.
What are the greatest challenges in being a coordinator in social care?
Do we have enough time?
No, you just pick those.
So the greatest challenges is, I think the easy label would be, you almost seem to become like a slave driver, like you don't understand. We all have things to do. Why is she changing this? Why have you done this? Why is this happening? But without understanding the business as well, the business setup, I also get to understand why maybe they would feel that way. So, but the greatest challenge is this, that they, on the other side, they feel like I don't understand, but I do. I worked it, I understand, and I also try to be in the middle and be fair in doing things. Yes.
Your colleague Violet has also indicated to us that you work very well, but there are also times when you don't agree on many things, and yet you're still able to have a cup of tea after that. How do you do that? Because normally women find it difficult to work with other women colleagues. How do you do that?
And yes, I would say that what helps with us is, I don't know, we were friends first, so we understand each other. We understand that we're two different people, and each have our own opinions. So we will fight, we will argue, but I think the basis is that the foundation is that at the end of it, we are family. So I'm here for my sister, and she's also here for her sister. It's not about me trying to get her. So even if we are arguing, she knows that it's coming from a place of, well, we want to progress. I'm just not here fighting you, because I think there's a misconception out there that as women you can't work with each other and actually sit at the same table, eat together, and we all become successful. In other ways, maybe some other people would have even gone and opened their own business and compete with each other. I'm not here to compete. I am here to grow. We started this baby. We want to grow it and see it to its full potential.
I suppose this question will also be applicable to many people out there who may be finding it very difficult, or they are contemplating whether they can actually have a companion, someone to walk and work with in their organization. And we hear this as men. Sometimes we hear that women find it difficult to work with other women, but it's great to hear and understand that you are doing it, which I think is quite good. What has been your greatest challenge in your entire life, in the position you find yourself in now? Are you comfortable?
I am very much comfortable, because I know that if there's a disagreement, if I don't understand, I just know that even if we're arguing, it's coming from a good place and it's leading us somewhere. So it's just not arguing for the sake of it. There's no malice behind it. It's either challenging you so that you grow, or it's either, no, maybe let's do it this way. There's no one-man band. Even in a band, there are other members in there. So that's what I got from my growth into becoming the person who I am.
As you know, Lisa, this is all to do with influencing other people and inspiring people to understand that there are many areas in our lives where we feel, I can't do that. This is an impossible mission. And you are here explaining to us that everything is possible with God, which is great. When I speak to so many people, they always have people behind them, mentors, people who have pushed them.
Yes.
Otherwise, with all those people, they will say, I wouldn't be here.
100%.
Of course, we know ultimately it's God. Do you have a number of people? Do you have an individual who has helped you to lift you up to the position you find yourself being today?
I think behind me would be a tribe of women that have helped push, shape me.
That is great to hear.
To becoming the person that I am. Some more than others.
And not men, but women.
Women.
That's great.
The tribe of women that pushed me. I will even add a funny story to this.
Yeah.
When I came, I think when we first moved to this country, we used to live down south, Poole to be precise, and then we moved to Manchester.
Yeah.
I wasn't even driving at that point. It was something that I never even thought, do you know when you just box something and think, until I met Violet. She really, do you know when someone talks to you and then when you're having the conversation, but you replay it, and you think
mercilessly.
Yes, it was brutal. I'm telling you, that conversation was not nice, and they made you feel like, are you serious? Are you okay in the head? Really, you're not driving. What are you doing? So that sort of push and that sort of honesty for somebody to, because I think we get it from our parents. They're the only ones who speak to us like that. If it's someone else who's not. I might
blood-related.
With siblings, you might even fight and think, maybe they're just being jealous or whatever. But somebody who's not even from your family saying things that are brutally honest, it helped shape me. Yes. So. And
you talk of driving as well. If you're not a driver in the first instance, when you started driving, this country.
That was freedom to me. That was like.
All these roundabouts, you go round and round. You get lost.
Simple, those simple things.
When you started driving?
It was, first time, it was really terrifying, but I think it was the greatest sense of independence that any human being should actually just have that for yourself.
Because having a car in this country is it's about giving you the self-independence, so you are able to move from point A to point B.
And like I mentioned before, remember I was working all these different jobs. I found myself at a certain point I needed to be connecting these different jobs. I needed the car.
Good.
So yes.
If then you were to share some words of wisdom with some people who are struggling out there, because your journey of breaking the barriers means that diaspora barriers, it also means that there were a lot of setbacks in front of you and behind you, but you managed to accomplish this goal. I just want to understand what words of encouragement can you actually share with the viewers today regarding your journey? What is it that you feel people should have in their minds as they focus on their lives?
For me, I would say, don't give up. And each step leads you to growth. You might look at it and feel like it's small, but it is something. Each step will lead you to growth. Because if we go back, remember how I started. I never dreamt that I would actually be one of those that would go in a plane, fly from a country to go all the way to another country. But that was growth.
Yeah.
That I even had all these different jobs. It's not something that I even envisioned or dreamt of. That's growth. It's not just set, there's no benchmark in growth. So it's not one particular, what do you call it? That if you start a business, that's growth. No, just going to work, going through to an interview and being accepted for a job, that's growth. Because where you're starting and how you end, nobody knows. So I would say keep going. No matter what setbacks you face, keep going.
And what is it that has remained you, which is Zimbabwean, that you are proud of after having lived in this country this long?
I would like to say those core values: family, tradition, just respect.
People we have moved in may be asking us, how do we balance that? You know, the social life, the work, the children. You know, I always say it's important that in your diary you've got these dates where you say, I'll be going for a meal on Friday, or on holiday I'll be going in 3 months' time. That alone is important. So how were you, or are you still able to balance? You've got this important job that you're doing, but you still have to live a normal life. And you still have children. You're supposed to have time as well.
Yes.
How do you balance all these things, your social as well as your professional work?
This country is a working country. So if you're not careful, you might not end up, like you're saying, having a balance. It might all just be work, because it's all about money. You might end up in that way, but it's really not the most important thing. So the things that help shape us and flower us really to keep going is time with family, time with friends, time with your kids. You will need it, because in the end you will find that you're just alone and your work.
Okay. The other thing, Lisa, is you are a Christian. And this podcast is meant to influence people, inspire people, and also people to be able to see God on their journey of life. You would never find yourself here if God didn't want you to be here. And where do you place God on your journey from Zimbabwe to where you are now?
In everything. Just the mere fact that we are here and we're sat here talking in every little bit that we do, I see God in it.
And how does your faith influence the way you do things?
I think it impacts a lot. It's with the way I relate to people, with the way I speak. It's because my foundation came from a Christian background.
What advice would you give to the generation that is coming after you? Because when people settle in this country, they always want to quickly
get rich quick.
Get rich quick. You know, this element we used to hear when we came, that people maybe sometimes think money is falling from the trees, etc. When they come here, they realize there is no money tree here. So what advice can you give them? Because there are people who want to run before they walk. And some people want to follow the wind as well. So what advice would you give to those who are coming? Considering your track record from the time you came here up to where you are now?
My advice would be, I always say this, one thing that I say usually is choose your hard. So you could choose, like you're saying, chasing the wind and this quick money or whatever. That is you. It might lead you into a different path. You could be in trouble or whatever. Or you could choose to work hard. It's not easy. It is hard work, but choose your hard, because either way you're going to suffer, so choose your hard.
What is the greatest risk that you may want to give advice to people of someone settling in this country?
The greatest risk is ending in debt, because you're trying to compete with social media, what social media would deem as success. So you could end up in serious debt because of that. Just do life, do you.
Yeah, do you, yeah.
Just be content with what you have and move on with it. Who knows where you will end up? Yeah. Because in this country, we could all do whatever we want to. We could all,
The opportunities are
it's there. I mean, you could...
The sky is the limit.
Nicely. You could go and live in a $5 million house. That's you. You could get an expensive... That's you. You could... The opportunity is there, but be content.
Also to understand your values as well. And to ask yourself these questions. What do you want to achieve in life? And to to realize that everything has got its time.
Yes.
So you can't compete with somebody who's been here for 20 years.
For 20 years.
Your time will come.
Our on your marks are different. Some were 5 steps ahead because of the family background. We are not coming from same family backgrounds, are we? So you're coming from poverty, you want to compete with someone who is coming from a well-to-do family. I think you'll find that it will be difficult. Yeah,
and the other question, because I've been well informed as well, that you, by Violet, as I was interviewing her, that you work very well with her as women, and whereas many women find it very difficult to work together. Can you take me through that? Because I just wanted the women out there to understand that it is possible, it's doable, it can be done.
Yes, that's very important. Like I said, it's achievable. I think you have to share the same values. That's important. Share the same vision. Right? I'm not the one who had this vision. That Violet had this vision, but I came on board and I understood and I could see where this vision was leading to. So I think sharing the same vision and values are key to maintaining a form of respectful relationship and working together. Though we fight, but we come together. We're like Tom and Jerry, Tom and Jerry,
And then you end up having a
nicely. It doesn't even last long.
Is it?
No, it doesn't last long. We're like, before that, we're like, you know what? Let's move on, shall we? And so we work well together, I should say.
And finally, there's another challenge that obviously, which was hinted to me, that when the COSs were opened, you brought your family and you have always been looking after your family. Has that really been difficult to be able to do that? Because it involves money. How were you able to do all that?
It was a challenge. I'm not going to lie. It was really difficult. But I think the beautiful thing that came out of it was, like you were mentioning earlier on, that there's this perception as well that money, we're just picking money from the ground. So because of that opportunity, now people got here and understood that no, it's a working country.
Money from the tree.
There's no time to rest, no time for anything. We're not just barbecuing, because I think people will see that one day that you choose to sit down, have something like this. They're like, oh, they're living their life out there. So they had this opportunity to move to this country and experience, though a different struggle, but now they understand a little bit that no, it was not easy for one person to go through this and still manage to bring all of us here. So,
And I think it takes away the burden as well, because all along when they were back home, you're supporting them maybe from education, groceries, etc. Now that they are here, it takes off a bit of a burden from you, because you can now put your heads together and
yes,
because that's one thing that probably I feel must have been a relief to you. Okay. What one lesson do you hope our listeners carry from your story today? Just one lesson.
Everyone's journey is different. Just do you.
And if you could speak to your younger self, what would you say?
Don't be too hard on yourself. Love yourself a bit more. Yeah.
And what advice would you give to anyone dreaming of setting up a business in diaspora? I ask you this question because many people think it's an impossible mission.
Oh,
but
it's
when
very
I listen
possible.
to your story, your journey, and I was listening to Violet as well. I think it's possible.
It's very possible.
But it's not easy.
And no.
It has got its own scars and risks as well.
We go back to understanding oneself, self-awareness, and just not every season is different. It might not be the right season for it, but it's definitely a possibility. If that's the one thing that you want and that's your purpose, you can do it. It might not just be a quick fix. Violet is doing it, let me just open my own and no.
It's not about competition.
It's not about competition. Every journey is different, I keep saying.
Lisa, it has been a pleasure talking to you. And thank you very much. May you continue to break barriers in this country.
Thank you very much.
I want to see you being a CEO, working together with your dear sister Violet, having more than just 2 companies.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Maybe I might kill her. I should add.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you, viewers, for listening. This was Lisa telling us a journey, and I want to believe that you've been able to learn 1 or 2 things from her. You have your story. Just get in touch with us and we'll be in a position to have an interview with you, because the whole idea of us as people who have come into this country is to share ideas, because you never know. Somebody, somewhere is waiting to hear you. Thank you. We'll meet again next time.